Palestinian ambassador to the Philippines, Saleh Mohammad, joins us now via Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us, Ambassador. My deepest condolences on the hundreds of losses of Palestinians in the Gaza Strip.
Thank you, Rico, and thank you very much for hosting me in your program. Good evening to you, good evening to CNN Philippines, good evening to all your viewers. Actually, I was just saying to the Israeli ambassador here that they are not targeting civilians, they are just targeting Hamas. This is absolutely untrue. You know, the amount of destruction in Gaza, if you just watch any cable coming from live from Gaza, you will see the heartbreaking scenes. United Nations schools have been you know, targeted with civilians taking shelters there. Mosques also have been targeted. Markets and civilian compounds,
yes.
Ambulances. I mean, everywhere. So. I mean, just saying that we are not targeting civilians, this is absolutely not true. Hamas is not within the civilian compounds. I'm not defending whatever, but we should call the spade a spade. You know, this is absolutely unacceptable.
It is indeed unacceptable, but does the Palestinian government, Ambassador, condemn the Hamas attacks in Israel?
Rico, let me ask a question. Did you ask this question to the Israeli ambassador that does the Israeli government condemns the brutal and daily aggressions of settlers against the Palestinian civilians, farmers, uprooting their trees, destructing their houses, making life miserable, checkpoints? Do they really condemn this brutal practices, daily practices? It's becoming part of our lives there. So, I mean, asking me this question, this is straight to the point. It cannot be answered. I can answer this question like after 100 questions, not now. You know, you cannot understand what's going today without recognizing the reality of the Israeli daily practices and operations in Palestine. You know, Gaza Strip is just 41 kilometers, 365 square kilometers, 41 kilometer long and 15.5 kilometer width, with most densely populated area on earth. More than 2 million people living there. 70% of them, they are refugees coming from their ancestors deprived by the Israelis in 1948 war. So right now, even the Israeli Prime Minister, he's asking them to leave. What an agony is that? Where to leave? The Israeli military spokesman says that we are fighting human animals. You know, they decided to besiege Gaza Strip from air, from borders, from sea. They will deny us even food, electricity, you know, water, drinking water. You know, I'm sure even the oxygen over Gaza is highly polluted because of the usage of the internationally banned weapons. They are using phosphorus, you know, internationally banned bombs there in Gaza.
So Ambassador,
Palestinian people, you know, so far more than 100 Palestinian children were killed. I'm not
Ambassador,
talking about the other casualties. I'm not talking about the homes being you know, leveled down, you know, because of the Israeli lair. There are around the clock 60 air warships.
There are indeed
over Gaza, Rico. I mean, how can you imagine?
Ambassador,
how can you want us to believe that they are not fighting? They are not targeting civilians. They are just targeting Hamas militants. How? The question is this: why Hamas did this? This is the question.
So, Ambassador, you know, the question now is, how can we have long-term peace, long-term solutions to this intractable problem between the Israelis and the Palestinians?
Yeah, actually, we are supposed to have had now an independent state of Palestine on the borders of 1967 war since 1995, 25 years ago, when we signed also agreement with the Israeli government. 5 years interim, now 25 years. We should have been building bridges now instead of building walls and having wars. You know, this is the question. The source of violence, actually, it's coming from Israel, not from us. Israel disrespected all the signed agreements. They should have implemented all the international legitimacy decisions on Palestine. So what do they accept? What kind of peace? The peace is very easy to make. Go
Ambassador,
implement the international legitimacy decision on Palestine, and then we will have an independent state for us with Holy Jerusalem, East Jerusalem as its capital, and we will be having joint ventures. We will have
Ambassador,
bridges between us, not wars and walls.
that's right.
And
Ambassador,
this is a proven fact that this fences. I'm sorry. This is a proven fact that this fences and walls, they did not bring security to Israel.
so Ambassador, Ambassador,
when I see a child or a human life lost, our heart bleeds for them, regardless where they come from. But look what's happening to us also. They are not even differentiating, even though they are not bombarding their attack on Gaza. They just killed 4 of their own people who were captured yesterday, day before yesterday.
And the hope, Ambassador, is that there is peace in the Gaza Strip and peace among Israelis and Palestinians. That is what everyone is hoping and praying for. And I would like to find out, of course, that there are thousands of Filipinos who live and work in Israel and also in the Gaza, in the medical and hospitality sectors. And many of their relatives and friends really want to understand what is happening in this ongoing conflict. And there are reports that potentially Filipino or Filipinos have been, how would you call this, taken hostage. Would the Palestinian government be in a position to negotiate for their release?
Actually, this is not proven news,
Yes.
that whether they have been taking hostages or not. And I believe, as personal, that not even any of the militants will take a civilian like non-Israeli, as a hostage. It's not true. Let's wait and see. And for the Filipinos who live in Israel, or I'm concerned about those who live in Gaza Strip now. Actually, their safety is a high concern of us. We concern about their safety as much as we do concern about the safety of our people. But where they should go, if everything is blocked, besieged, air raids and artillery, and everywhere we are getting attacked by the Israelis occupation army. So where they should hide? No safe place. Schools have been targeted, like I told you. Even schools, mosques have been targeted. Markets have been targeted. Israel is an occupying power, is fully responsible for this situation. Israel, the main problem that Israel is an occupying power. This is the core problem between us and them. They want peace. It's very easy. Withdraw. Leave what is not yours. Leave Palestine. We are not going to fight you. We are not fighting anybody else. And this is our right. This is our legal right, protected by legal international laws and regulations, United Nations charters, that all nations, occupied nations, have the right to fight for their own liberation, liberation of their own land and freedom. Our demand is very simple. The realizations of our national aspiration, of our national rights of establishing an independent state of Palestine with East Jerusalem as its capital, and the return of the refugees from the diaspora. The clock is started running when the majority of the Palestinian population was expelled from their homes during the first Nakba. 75 years, till they are still waiting to return back home, to go back home. So what is the solution? Rico, you are a media man, and I'm appealing to you that partiality, and I'm sure partiality is not serving the story. You know, impartiality is the right. Like I've been Israel, I've been reading like everybody that they are buying sympathy and solidarity from international powers. Sympathy and solidarity will not serve them, will not help him, will not help them in this. You know, international power, if they really care about showing sympathy with Israel, they should advise and use the pressure on Israel to come to its sentences, implement the
Ambassador?
international law, you know,
Yes.
withdraw from Palestine. You know, you cannot have these people and expect in full captivity and expect them that every day morning they will say, thank you very much for occupying us. Thank you very much for making our life miserable. You understand me?
Ambassador, yes, thank you so much. We appreciate your joining us on The Final Word and for airing your opinion and sentiments. Palestinian Ambassador to the Philippines, Saleh Mohammad.